Hello everybody and welcome to SRL Season 6 Round 8. It is the best race of the season. It's the British Grand Prix, and with no bias at all, every Scotsman wants to hang himself and every Englishman wants some joy because, well, that's just the UK for you, ladies and gents. It's a lovely place like that. So we're at Silverstone, in between Northamptonshire and Buckinghamshire, just off the I don't know whereabouts it is actually. It's near Toast or something like that. I think that's the place closest to it. Which, if you're not too far, not too familiar, is near Milton Keynes. If you don't know where that is near Oxford. So yeah, it's fair away from Oxford actually. But anyway, we'll gloss over that. Apparently the championship has been quite close at the moment. I mean, I said it's quite close. From what I've seen of the standings, it's 25 points. So it's not it's close, but not close enough. You'd think. I mean. Actually today, which I think the last time me and Ollie commentated, it was only, 9 people racing, so everyone got a point as long as you finished. Anyway, speaking of which, how are you today, sir?
Well, I'm very good. A little bit hungover after a night out last night in Portsmouth, but I'm here ready for the show, ready for a quality race, hopefully, with 14 drivers here in Silverstone. It's good to be back in the commentary box with you, James. It's been a while, but I'm sure we'll do our best to give them a great show for those who are watching on Twitch.
Absolutely. I do sincerely apologise for all of those people wondering whether I was going to be there last week. Unfortunately, work was a bit of a pain and wasn't able to do it. But we'll gloss over it. We don't really need to talk about that kind of thing. We're on about the racing here, and it is good. And there's a fair few new names. Don't know why it's so difficult, but there is a fair few new names to add into the mix tonight. I've not seen a lot of these names, so people like the Jackster. Ollie was telling me about him beforehand. Boost the Pony. I mean, that is a name which is going to go down really well in this commentary box. Julian, I think he may have raced last week, Julian. I wasn't too sure. Never heard of him. Pelzeri, HD, again, never heard of him. Ant-Man, I don't believe has raced in Tier 1 before, but I could be wrong. PT as well, I know the name, but again, don't know. The Dutchman, I feel like I've seen that name before, but again, gloss over that. Hopefully they'll have good races today. But more over than that, let's just see what kind of lap times we're expecting around this Silverstone circuit. Where do we think we're going to be dropping into? What kind of time zone, if you will?
Should be 126s for these guys. It's lovely and sunny here in Silverstone, so we should see some pretty quick laps. Some of the names that we do have in the race, James, they've been promoted from Tier 2. So Antsmaz has been promoted, and so is the Dutchman.
Right.
So they are from Tier 2. Some of the new names we've got, like you said, there are a few new name drivers here. But again, like I said, some have been promoted, and we've already got a supporter for Pelzeri from Art in the Twitch chat. Yeah,
I think he's
guys, let us know who you're supporting in the chat. Finish, is he?
Yeah, apparently so. That could be a lie.
Okay, very good. Yeah. You could be North Korean on this if you wanted to. So.
Yeah, we don't know. It's gonna be good. Anyway.
Yeah, it should be.
So yeah, 126 is kind of okay. Well, there's a Williams gone sideways through Maggots and Beckett's, and he is very lucky not to have got collected there by the Sauber of LK. I'm riding on board with highest gone fastest of all so far with a 27.4 at the moment, which is pretty good for height. He's not really, whenever we've seemed to, broadcast races, he's never always been the best in qualifying, I'm pretty sure. He's always kind of come through in the race and shown what he's worth. Boost the Pony goes into P2. My goodness me, that man. He's a brave boy. He's P2 at the moment with a 27.5, which isn't bad. LK then slots into P3 with a 27.5 as well. Antsman goes in and he sets a time of a 27.6. Again, these times are pretty close at the moment, but no one out there matching height. There's a few cars out on their laps still, one of whom is someone's just gone into a position. I didn't actually catch who it was. But yeah, Melanie is coming around the final couple of corners now through Vale, I believe that corner is. Into Club as well. Into the final corner he goes. Provisional pole, 27.3 from Melanie. So that's a pretty good effort, if you ask me. I mean, it's good so far. It's a good banker lap to put in, of course. This track you can overextend on it. I mean, I think it's quite difficult, but I'm not saying that as a talented driver either. It's a bit of a pain on track limits, can be. Copse Corner, you know, how much do you dare take on the entry and exit? Maggots and Beckett's is probably the most key one, to be honest. It's probably how much you can take through there, how much you dare lift, if you lift at all. And most people try to keep it as flat as they can until they reach the bottom of Beckett's. But yeah, the notable corners, I feel like Stowe Corner. If you run a bit wide there, costs you a bit of time. But other than that, should be all good on track limits this race. But yeah, everyone's setting a banker lap, which is pretty good as well. I would say Julian's is representative though.
Yeah, he's a little bit off though, isn't he? Almost 30 seconds off Hayden, who the 28 won. Yeah, still a couple of tenths off my prediction. Hopefully they do get into what I said, the 126s. But it looks nice and sunny for today's Grand Prix. But let us know who you're supporting in the Twitch chat as well. Let us know anything that's going on with your day. Let us know in the chat. I will read everything out as long as it's appropriate, of course. We'll read it out. But yeah, guys, just setting their first banker laps, James, and 5 minutes 30 remaining and in the session. And yeah, hopefully they do get to my predicted lap time.
Absolutely, but we are in that dead and lonely spell now. This is the dead area, really. This is the moment where everyone's coming in, changing their tyres. Oh, let's go out for our second run. It's all very much a orderly business in the way that these guys form out. But everybody, I think absolutely everybody is in the pit, apart from Julian, who I think could be on a lap. So we could take a look at him. I'm not too sure what to think about him. He's in the Williams, which is a good start around the British Grand Prix. Doesn't take a lot of curve on the entry through Copse Corner. And just that's pretty neat and tidy through there. Maggots and Beckett's again goes straight on. That's not how to take Maggots and Beckett's, ladies and gents.
That's the best way I've ever seen someone doing that.
Yeah, I think he may as well have been in, I don't know, Milton Keynes. He may as well have been, because that was so far out of Maggots and Beckett's. It's an absolute joke. It doesn't even break for the pit lane either. This guy just keeps getting better. Let's remember his name, ladies and gents, because he's going to be one to watch, I think. This is the moment where he'll go pole by like half a second, and we'll be like, right, well, okay, what was that Maggots and Beckett's thing all about? Hopefully he does. No, not hopefully he doesn't. For his sake, I hope he does, but not. If it does, it's a bit, not really wording this too well. Anyway, top three at the moment. Melanie from Height, which is always a good fight at the front. The two Toro Rossos locking it out at the front row. We have seen lockouts in the past in this league, especially this season as well. I'm pretty sure the two Saubers locked it out in Spain, so it's not a too bad. Actually, I think even Canada. No, not Canada. Canada there wasn't. But Canada actually lived up to most. That was the one time I done a prediction. I got it absolutely spot on, which I was really surprised about. It was like a one. I said, right, we're going for a 112. About one. What did I say? It was like 112.0 or something like that. I think that was kind of what the poll out was. Really shocking, to be honest. I never like predicting, but that's just the way it is. Hopefully they can get a good run there next time around. Let's just wait and see. Because all these guys will be on their outlaps. And I think one of the first who will take it will be Height, who has given himself plenty of time. So if he does bowl this lap, he has always got the second option of doing another one. Not too wise on tyre degradation, meanwhile, but he can do it if he decides to. Let's see what he can do in the Toro Rosso. Do you want to talk us through a lap, Ollie?
Yeah, I'll do my best to talk you through a lap of Silverstone. I'm not the best at doing the on-board laps, but I'll try my very best for everybody. He just comes round Club Corner to start his second flying lap, currently in second place, but he comes towards Abbey flat out essentially through these first two corners, hard on the brakes coming towards Village. A little bit of a tyre lockup from the Toro Rosso driver, but nice and smooth round the next corner of the loop and Aimtree. The Williams gets out of the way, a little bit of lag from Toro Rosso man as well, but he comes onto the first straight, the Wellington straight, coming down to the notorious Brooklands and left field corner, which has a great stand there. So if you ever go to Silverstone, this is a place to sit to watch Formula 1. Comes round lovely in, should be third or fourth gear, nicely clean on the exit towards the old start finish straight. towards the, where we're going, Cops next. Another car gets out of the way for him, almost flat out through here as well. And of course, this the best corners on track. We've got Maggots and Beckett's coming up nice and quick through there. Looks to be doing a pretty good lap so far. Make sure he doesn't cut too many corners, and it isn't going on the grass either. On to the second DRS straight, the hangar straight. Still going strong. He's got a lot of traffic in front of him as well, James, so he may be caught out here if they don't get out of his way. Looks like they both do. Will the Mercedes get out of the way as well? Just about does. And he comes to the final very slow Vale and Club corners. Will height improve on his lap time? That is a question on everybody's lips. Comes across the line and he goes second. And he goes 2 tenths quicker.
Yeah, it does improve, you're right, but that is Pelzeri. Let's go with that. Who's currently on pole with a 27.0. He's just knocked that one out of the bag because he was P6 before that run from height, and before that run himself. The Finn, we'll call him for now, because we're not too sure what nationality he is. I don't think height is doing another lap, but we could always keep tabs on that. Melanie is coming through Aintree as well. Let's see if there's anyone close to the end of that lap. I think Boost the Pony. Yeah. He is coming around near Chapel now. Here we go. He's taking a lot of speed through there. That's unbelievable, the amount of speed he's taking through Chapel Corner. It is a corner that you do want to nail, of course, because the run out of it can ultimately set you free on your way to Stowe Corner, which he comes through quite quickly now, and trying not to take as much curve as he possibly dare on the exit as we come into the final part of the circuit. The Dutchman has retired. He's only P7 on the grid at the moment, but he will only be P7. Boost the Pony goes P3 with a 27.3. He's only 5 thousandths of a second quicker than Melanie, who's trying to get a toe off the Jackster as they... Oh, if I said that right? Yeah, the Jackster, as they come... Now, he is also coming into Stowe Corner, and he's a man on a mission. He currently, I believe, leads this championship by 25 points. So he's a long way in front, really, unless anybody can do anything about it. Height session is over, and Melanie only goes P3. So at the moment, Pelzeri is on pole position for this British Grand Prix. Who can actually take the fight to it? Boost the Pony has decided to back out there. I don't know, maybe most Ronan, potentially. He's going around the final corner now. Can he go high? Yes, he can, but he's not quite pole. He's on the front row, the Italian, but it's not enough for pole position. He will start from the front row in this British Grand Prix, though. Can anybody else improve on their times? Ben JP is another man to watch out for. Peter Amato is actually coming around the final few corners now. He will be one to watch as they head now through the final corner. Can he get himself up with his teammate? No, he's only P7 on the grid. Not a bad effort from the Haas cars, but it's definitely maybe could have expected more going into this weekend. Let's see where Ben JP goes. He goes into P6, I believe that is. So it's a good effort from the Red Bull, and he puts himself 6th on the grid. And neither Toro Rosso can get on pole position. Pretty shocking, but it will be one of the Williams. In fact, it's Pezzari on pole position in the Williams, ahead of most Ronan in the Haas, which is a pretty, I'd like to say, it's a good front row. Height and Melody rock out row 2 for Toro Rosso, then Boost the Pony and Ben JP lock out row 3. LK and Pucci Matto on row 4 with Antsman, and the Dutchman rounding out the top 10. Hayden and PT are on row 6 with Jackster and Julian on the back row, but the top 12 separated by the best part of 7.5 tenths. Absolutely brilliant. Great session there, Ollie.
Yeah, a great qualifying session there from all the drivers, and like you said, James, very, very close, and hopefully they stay like that in the race, but we'll have to wait and see. And it is raining, James, here at Silverstone.
We do like a bit of rain, don't we? Oh, it's going to be good, this.
Perfect.
So, after all the different weather conditions the UK summers bring up, we're nearly in June. If you're Australian watching this, you are in June. But it's a bit of a... I hate to rain on somebody's parade, the British. We never like to boast about our weather. That's the one thing that we can all safely say. And yet again, it's showing to be absolutely shocking. Wet weather at Silverstone. It doesn't get much better than this, does it? If you're only just joining us, welcome to the British Grand Prix, round number 8 of this SRL Season 6 season. And it is now case of who can use the wet tyres most effective, but we will find out within the next 5 red lights. Lights are out and away we go. It looks like a pretty good launch from the Williams off the front row. It looks like actually the Haas has bogged down off the start. He's going to get swamped by the Toro Rosso of height around the outside into turn 1, who's already got past him through Abbey. It looks like Melanie's dropping back through the field. Boost the Pony in the Force India is coming through. Down the inside goes height into Village Corner. He's made the move stick on the Williams. He's gone from nowhere, and there's one of the Haas cars who's overly aggressive, you feel, just behind. But my goodness me, actually side by side, actually, it's Mo's Ronan neither very close to each other. Looking for the words, they're all coming out of my mouth now. And let's see if Melanie can get a move on the inside of the Force India. He's not quite close enough. Actually, I think the Force India's been pushed a little bit wide. That's causing him a little bit of a poorer run as they come through Luffield Corner. Now, can he get to him? Yes, he can't. Pretty clean start from everybody, though.
Yeah, a great start, and that battle for P4 is just heating up now. Melanie, LK, Boosted Pony, of course, and Antsmaz all getting involved with this fight. Everyone's still pretty close. Of course, difficult to drive the spray that's coming off these cars in these wet intermediate conditions we have on track as they come through Maggots and Beckett's for the very first time. Booster Pony's he's sort of calmed down now. He's on the back of most Ronan. The top two have got a little bit of a gap now, and I like height with great start, James, with getting 2 positions. That's Booster Pony down the inside. Can he pull that move off down the inside of the Haas? They're almost locked together. Oh, he's sideways there, but most Ronan will keep. No, he hasn't. He's no traction off that end of the corner, and he's down to 4th place, James.
I'll tell you what, I could have come out with plenty of puns there, but I decided to keep them to myself because I thought actually they would be too inappropriate for anybody concerned. So, yeah, it wasn't the cleanest first lap, to be honest. The Williams has gone dreadfully wide through turn 1. That's just compromised his run, and actually Melanie's up the inside of Ronan. He's not going to be able to make the move there. He's actually now defending from the Haas behind LK. And this is going to be an absolute ding-dong battle because Pitrimato is involved as well. We know what kind of moves that man can make, and it is worrying beyond belief. I've seen him on Twitter, and he does love it when we get a bit excited. So we'll try and keep him that way as well. LK is, meanwhile, pretty close again, as I say, to the back of height. Not close enough to make a move down into Brooklyn's corner. But Most Ronan losing a bit of traction. As you said, I think the pure reason that nobody like Most Ronan got such a shocking start was just down to the fact that there's so much wheel spin in the wet. You've got no traction. And I just don't think he was used to it. Not used to it, but just couldn't get any grip coming off the line. And Melanie now is all over the back of him as they head down towards Maggots and Beckett. He's going to have to get a good run through here. He cannot afford to brake as much as Ronan. He will have to brake, unlike the Dry, where he can take it in essence flat out all the way until the bottom of the end. Beckett. So, yeah, he's looking pretty feisty at the moment. There's also side-by-side action behind with LK and Pitrimato, but you want to watch Melanie. Can he make a move up the inside into Stowe Corner? Yes, he can. The Toro Rosso is through, but he's gone a bit deep. I say a bit deep. He's gone all the way to Oxford and back through there. Can he get it on the road? Indeed he can, but Most Ronan gets him back. LK holds his position. Ben JP is also looking to make a move on Pitrimato, and he makes that move, the Red Bull. He started 6th, he's dropped to 7th, and the Haas is now on his tail as well. I think he's got past him and he's stuck it there as well. Meanwhile, Melanie's back on the charge, looking to make a move into Abbey Corner. Not close enough through there, and he will have to wait another lap, you feel. Maybe into Brooklands, he could do it there, but it will be quite risky, and he will need a good run on it. Oh, in fact, he's going for it here, up the inside into the loop, and yep, doesn't make it stick. I think that was overly ambitious. He should have waited until Brooklands, and that's kind of cost him his run.
Yeah, a strange move from Melanie there. I maybe thought that Most Ronan had gone a little bit wide, but in essence he was just taking a wider line through that corner to try and get some better traction in Sector 1. But Most Ronan doesn't seem to like the rain here in Silverstone. James struggling with Melanie hunting him down, and you know LK's not close as well as Ben, Matto. Julian's got a little bit of a train behind him with Peachy trying to go down his inside. It's a 4-car battle. 4P10 for the last point paying position. Sorry, no, it's not P9. I do apologise, but there's a train there with Julian coming through the Maggots and Beckett's sector. all going, essentially drifting around this section of the track in the intermediate conditions. Oh, that Williams, that's an interesting way of taking the exit of Beckett's there, but he manages to get it done, and well, he's got another car on his backside, right on his backside.
Yeah. Sorry, Ben JP is up the inside of LK. I'm not sure if he's going to make it stick through Stowe Corner. He's actually on the inside of the Sauer. I'm not sure if he's going to give this one up easy. LK back up the inside he goes. I'm not sure if he's going to be getting it on the... He's not going to be able to pinch him, is he? And in fact, it's been pinched away, and Pazzari is... he's under huge pressure from the Force India behind. He's run so wide through Abbey Corner. There's a battle for second place. He's gone round the outside through turn 2. What a move from the Force India. Can he get it all stuck together? The Williams is back on the outside through Loop we go again. Can he get him with the run down to Brooklands? He's going to have to get a good run through Aintree, in fact, just to maximise his run down the Wellington Straight into Brooklands Corner itself, and Luffield will follow as well. But can he get this move done? He's going to be brave if he's going to try. The Williams is looking, but not close enough. He just can't get his eyes in deep enough into the inside of that Force India. Again, this is really not working with his name, but still, it is P2 and P3. But that's a pretty ballsy move, I think, from the Force India to go round the outside. He was on the inside through Abbey, but tried to hold it all the way around the outside with little grip, to be fair. Turn 2 is not a corner that in the wet will have a lot of grip. Not even turn 1 will have enough grip for these guys. He's got all the way around the outside over through turn 2. That's a stunning move. But yeah, all the action is also kicking off very much behind these guys as well.
Yeah, a great move from Boost the Pony there, coming through turn 2, and I don't know how he managed to pull that off, but the battle still rages on between Ronan and Melanie fighting for P number 4. A little bit of a gap now between both the drivers. Further back, though, we've got LK and Matto. Matto dive down the inside. Can he make the move stick this time round? LK trying to go around his outside. Oh, he's onto the AstroTurf. That's not where the grip is, but they're still side by side as they come towards the... No, it's not. That is LK. Oh, he's banging his gearbox as well through that corner. Maybe he doesn't look like any damage to that front wing, but yeah, LK dropping back positions now down to 8th place behind the Italian, but the battle for P9 still rages on behind, and that is... Yeah, sorry, yeah. Sideways for 2 of the cars there.
My goodness me, Antsman's actually on the inside of Peaty as they come through. Abbey again, another car's going to go around the outside. He's going to get the inside line for Village Corner, and Peaty can't do anything about that. And Antsman has just opened it up, but can he get him back on the inside? No, he's not close enough. The Jackster is P10, Julian is P9, but this is a truly tremendous scrap for P9. Melanie is also around the outside. Into Brooklands we go of most Ronan, who loses grip as he comes through there. He's not going to be able to surely hold on to this for much longer. This is costing well, absolutely now. So he needs to get a move on Melanie. He needs to get this move stuck, and he damn well needs to do this probably within this lap, because I mean we don't know what the weather conditions are like, whether the rain's going to deteriorate and it's not going to do anything else now, but we can never bet on it. So he needs to get this move done, so it's now sorted. I've really cocked up my words there, but as we're coming through Beckett's and Odd through Chapel towards Stowe Corner, again, doesn't look like he's gonna be awfully close enough to make a challenge into Stowe. Let's see how late he dares to go on the brake pedal, and it's not late enough. If Ronan gets a bit of a sideways flick like we've seen the Italian do, he needs to remember he's in a Haas Formula 1 car, not a Ferrari of some description. I probably couldn't give you a good enough answer, maybe like a 458 or something. So he needs to remember that the horses behind him are also in front of him, and they're from a smaller variety, because Boost the Pony is P2 at the moment, and he's doing quite a good job to hold off Pelzari. I love the way just position that so well, but yeah, currently it's Ronan from Melanie, P4 and P5.
Yeah, like you said, James, I think Melanie needs to get a move on if he's going to get anywhere. But it does look like the rain has stopped, and I was on board with Melanie as they went through Maggotts and Beckett's, and I see some more blue skies, James. So I think we will have this race will finish in dry conditions.
Absolutely. I hope it does get into dry conditions, because I'm sure because we do have plenty of other European drivers in this league, and they need to understand, look, the British are no pushovers. We need to get these deals sorted and everything like this, and the weather is a key factor for keeping the British Grand Prix, I'm sure. So they'll be very much looking at this with fondness, I'm sure. Anyway, Melanie is still pretty close. I was going to go into politics, but I thought it's probably not best. Probably best I don't go into it too much.
No.
Most Ronan still ahead of Melanie. It's about half a second, and it looks like actually he's beginning to find his feet. The dry weather is coming, and it may be coming in a good time for most Ronan. He, of course, was second quickest in qualifying, started on the front row alongside Pelzari, and they're both, well, they're third and fourth now, so they've dropped off the front row of what it would have been anyway. But this could be actually quite interesting to see how much they can now close up to each other and how much actually pace they do have in the dry, because if they're that much quicker in qualifying, they were a good couple of tenths faster than the guys in P3. This is going to be a really interesting end to this race. Also, the strategic decisions these guys are going to have to make, because if the rain is fully on stopping around lap 10, these guys will probably fit the harder compound tyre and go all the way to the end in this Grand Prix as well, which I'm wanting to say is the medium tyre, but I'm not 100% sure. So it's going to be interesting towards the end part, maybe even the mid part of this Grand Prix. And the British Grand Prix never fails to disappoint, does it? Unless, of course, the weather, as we're now saying.
Yeah, I think you can always count on the Silverstone Grand Prix to throw up a good show. Just looking at the top two, James, the gap over the last lap and a half has come down by a second. So I don't know whether that's Height making mistakes or Booster Pony is on a charge, but one of the two. We could see that the gap is closing rapidly. Now 1.4 seconds between Height and Booster Pony. So once that gap does close down again, we will stay on board with those guys. It's also a battle to stay on board with, but everyone else a bit spaced out now. Melanie making mistakes actually, James, and he's now 1.1 seconds behind the Haas driver.
That's interesting. You don't often see him making a lot of mistakes. He doesn't make a lot of warnings. Height's coming into the pits and Boost the Pony follows. Let's see what tyre compound they decide to go on. As early as lap 7, I wasn't too sure. Pelzari stays out for another lap. I'm not sure whether he's even got the cue from his engineer, Jeff. If indeed they call it Jeff in Finnish, he's probably called Kimi or Heikki or something. But anyway, yeah, coming through... So, yeah, Height is, they've all come into the pits. Height has gone on to what set of tyres are they? Medium compound tyres. So that is, I believe, the hardest compound tyre. Boost the Pony, though, has come out on softs. So he's going to risk it. LK is also in the pits. A lot of these guys are all filing in. Medium tyres are going onto a lot of these cars, as you would expect. And it's a bit of a ballsy call, really, from the Force India. He will now be a lot quicker than Height. That's not going to be enough to pull out a pit stop margin over him. I'm sure he will not allow that to happen. So that's a pretty brave move. The DRS has now been enabled this lap, and Melanie is actually apparently 3 tenths behind most Ronan. So all of a sudden that gap has come straight back down again. And it's probably one to watch if he decides to make a move before they head to the pit lane. Because, of course...
Yeah, you want to get ahead in the pit stop because, of course, it is a very long... pit stop here in Silverstone, unfortunately for the drivers. Personally, I think it's still a bit wet on track, James, but maybe it's different for us in the commentary box compared to what the drivers are saying. But yeah, Melanie, if he can get most running on this straight, he will have DRS. He does. If he can get him towards Stone now, that will massively help him in the pit stop phase. He's right on his gearbox as he's dived down the inside. Doesn't do it for now, but will these guys? They've got to come in. Everyone else is on, or essentially everyone else is on the dry tyre now, and they both come into the pit. So we'll keep an eye on these gaps now.
Yeah, sorry to cut across, but Pitrimato's also come in, so Haas are going to have to double stack their cars.
Oh dear.
To be honest, that's a really bad call from Haas. That could ultimately lose Pitrimato too much time in this race. It may be the race-defining moment for him. He's now got to try and make his way back through the pack as Pelzari pits and already comes out. Is he on those mediums? I sincerely hope so. Super soft tyres on the Williams. Okay, that's a bit of a brave one. Height's already come through and takes the lead of this Grand Prix. Boost the Pony is P2. Isn't really catching Height, but he is P2. Pelzari comes out the pits in P3. Will most Ronan... it won't be most Ronan. In fact, it will be. Pitrimato, did he lose a lot of time? I think he might have done, actually. So he's lost more time than maybe he wanted to. Melanie's dropped to P6. Ben JP has jumped the Toro Rosso of Melanie. In fact, I think, yeah, he's actually jumped him. That's a bit of a shock, really. I didn't expect Ben JP to do that, but he's had a stellar outlap somewhere. Somehow, in fact, and he's now P5 in this race. Melanie's dropped to P6. Gets even worse for the Toro Rosso driver. He's stuck behind the Haas, and now he's come into the pits, bolted a set of soft tyres on as well. So maybe he feels that they won't go to the end. That's a really weird call. I'm not too sure what these guys are thinking. We've got so many different strategies now in this race. Let's take a look. So yeah, actually it's only Pelzari is on those super soft tyres. That's a brave one. I'm not sure what his thoughts on that were, but oh, Booster Pony gets a 3-second time penalty. Sorry, but yeah.
No, it's
sorry.
in the pit stops, James. Toro Rosso and Haas are next to each other, and Toro Rosso are behind Haas. So because Haas double stacked, Melanie couldn't get out of the pits. So that's why he was delayed. So he's delayed by almost 2 seconds, which has allowed Ben JP to get ahead. So that is why Melanie has been delayed massively and down to P6.
I'll tell you what, there's going to be some conspiracies behind that, because of course the man who's second in the championship, Thomas, is in a Sauber, and if you know anything about Sauber, they've got a Ferrari engine. So, you know, I don't want to put pen on paper, but you could say a bit of conspiracy. I'm sure it was totally deliberate, and they completely meant it. But yeah, that is a bit, yeah, that is more frustrating actually for Toro Rosso than it is for Haas. Or Haas, I don't know. Ben JP is right up behind most Ronan. Melanie is on their tail as well. A battle for P4 now beckons in this British Grand Prix, and it's cloudy and it's overcast and it's frankly terrible, but it's going to see whether the Red Bull can make a move down into Brooklands. He's thinking about it, got very low on the brakes. Most Ronan, he's actually gone earlier on the brakes there, the Red Bull, just to make and just utilise that run that he can now get coming through the left field corner. Apologies.
Yeah, I think most Ronan, I don't think he likes his track, James, because he's struggling on the wet tyres, he's struggling in these damp conditions as well, so not really sure what's going on with the Italian driver, but he's under pressure from Ben and Melanie as they come through Maggots and Beckett's towards the Spitfire straight. No, Hangar straight. I do apologise. Wrong sort of wrong item of air travel. But Ben right on the back of the Haas driver as they come towards Stoke. Can the Red Bull go? He's very close. Dive to the inside line, but doesn't make the move stick there. Holds trying to put off most Ronan, but he's still on his tail as they come towards Vale and Club, but too far back at the moment as Pelzari gets the new fastest lap for 1:35.3, the man in P3. But of course he is on the supers, so he's definitely going to have to pit again, Jim. So an interesting strategy from him. I personally would have gone for the hardest tyre, gone to the end, but that's coming from a very amateur F1 racer compared. I'm sure he's a lot better than I am.
Our first retirement has come on the board as well, in the form of Ant-Man, who has dropped out of this race. He was P13. He won't be anymore. He's out of this Grand Prix, which is quite unfortunate for him. But still, there are 13 runners left in this race. And the key battles now, actually, race for the lead as well. Booster Pony is seemingly quite close to height at the front of the field. He's closing and closing and closing and closing. Will he close enough on the Toro Rosso, who currently leads this race? I'm sure I will be thinking about that Force India for an awful long time now. Lap 11 of 26, not quite halfway in this British Grand Prix, but that's not to say that all the action will come in an absolute flash. Oh, goodness me, and the voice. Flash. It will come in that form as well. As Height continues his surge on at the front, but he is, as I say, he's losing a little bit of time to Booster Pony. I believe both of them have a 3-second time penalty, but I probably want to check that before I say it. So I'm going to take a look. In fact, no, Height's got nothing. Booster Pony does have a penalty, which doesn't mean an awful lot. He does mean he has to push a lot more. Also, another thing to watch out for is the gap between Booster Pony and Pelzari in P3. That is 4.6 seconds. Last lap around, it was 5.3 as they begun the lap. So that has dropped hugely over the course of a lap. And he is on those super soft tyres, which you probably would expect him to be bolting in the fastest laps at the moment. I believe the fastest currently, though, is Hayden, down in P11. So there you go.
Yeah, just looking at the Twitch chat, we've got Juggler Comic, who's the Tier 2 commentator, who commentated Tier 1 last week and did a great job in the chat. So is, and there's got Ants Maz, who's just popped in the chat and said he gave up. So that's why he is out of the race. So unlucky for my former teammate in Tier 2. But anyway, yeah, still 13 drivers left here in Silverstone. Still on board with the battle for P4 between Ronan, Ben JP and Melanie. Ronan seems to get he's got his footing finally in the race. He's getting into a rhythm. He's got a gap over Ben, and Ben is massively under pressure from the championship leader. He comes around the last bit of Beckett's. Can Melanie pull a move on the Red Bull driver? He does have the DRS as they come down towards Stowe, a little bit too far back at the moment, but we've seen some great moves from Melanie in the past, but again, too far away at the moment. Booster Pony gets a new fastest lap of 1:32.6, so it seems like, well, there we go, Pelzari's got a 1:31.7, so they're switching best lap times here, trying to get that award. Unfortunately, no points for that award, and most Ronan's now got the award, so they're just having their own little game, James.
Yeah, it's a pretty weird one, but actually, as I say, the battle for the lead is enticing, is now hotting up even more, because these guys are now just half a second between them. We're now at half distance in this Grand Prix. How much difference? It says for me that Boost Pony is on softs, but everywhere else it says he's on mediums. I don't know what it says for you, whether it says the same or not. Is he on mediums for you or softs?
Yeah, mediums.
Mediums, okay, right, so it's just a glitch on my screen, which means it's a very, very good bit of pace that Booster Pony is now showing at the moment. Heights is currently out front, but he needs to maximise his run through Maggots and Beckett's. He cannot afford not to at this crucial stage of the race. Also, Pelzari in the Williams is closing on these guys at a rapid pace. He is 3.2 seconds behind them now. As I say, only a couple of laps ago, it was about 6 seconds. So he has really just put the hammer down, and he has gone for it. Pelzari in the Williams, the man who was on pole, but hasn't been able to convert anything like that at the moment. He will need to get a move on. If these guys don't decide to pit again, which it does look like, they will just see how long they can go on these tyres. Booster Pony goes fastest again with a 31.2, and then Pelzari. There you go, boots in another one, a 30.4, so that's showing his pace. That's nearly 7/10 faster than the man in P2. This man is flying at the moment in the Williams, but the battle for the lead rages on again as they come through the loop. Can the Force India get close enough towards Brooklands as they come down the Wellington straight now? We've seen some pretty ballsy moves down the ears into Brooklands corner, but will there be another one today? It doesn't look like he's going to get close enough, and through Luffield will come into the national pit straight, and the old national pit straight as it were, but of course scenes of some brilliant moments in Formula 1, and I'm sure it may kick up something now as well, because Booster Pony is right on the back of Height. Not sure where he's found all this pace from all of a sudden, but he's coming through Copse Corner. He's not quite close enough through there. He's getting all unsettled on the wheel. You can just see that. It's the front end grip that you lose with the downforce because of the dirty air that all the cars will obviously dish out from the rear end. So it isn't great news for the Force India. He will need to get past Height as quickly as possible, because the moment he can do that, he can begin his charge and surge at the front to get rid of that 3-second time penalty, which may prove costly in this Grand Prix.
Yeah, exactly. Having that penalty is really going to affect him, and don't know whether he's got any more warnings, James, for the Force India driver. I'm sure if you can check, that would be fantastic for us. But as well, Melanie finally got past Ben JP, a move down the Wellington Straight for the Toro Rosso, but
close. Oh, sorry, he's close, but not close enough through Village. I thought he was going to pop one up the inside. He wasn't close enough. There is no further warnings for the Force India. This is the closest he's been as they come through Aintree. He's got a great run on Height as they down towards Brooklands they go. Height already covers the inside line. He knows what's coming, and he knows he needs to get this corner right. He's just going to hold it in the inside. They're going to bang wheels nearly as they come through Luffield corner. He's up the inside boost the road. He can. Height gets him back on the exit. Doesn't look like he can. In fact, it just looked like a pretty easy move from the Force India, and he takes the lead of this British Grand Prix in fantastic style. And now Height will have to keep on his tail just to make sure he doesn't pull away 3 seconds up the road.
Yeah, that was a great move around the outside of Brooklands. I have to applaud that from Booth the Pony. And like you said, James, Height's going to have to stay with him if he wants to keep the win. We do have 11 laps left. Yeah, 11 laps left here in Silverstone. 5/10 splits first and second. But Pelzari is going to have to get a move on. He's 2 seconds behind Height. But of course, I still don't think those super softs are going to get to the end. He's locking up a lot as well. So we'll keep an eye on what he's doing. Most Ronan in 4th, Melanie 5th. You got Ben in 6th, Jacksters in 7th, Matto down in 8th, LK right on his backside actually in 9th, and Hayden rounds off the top 10 drivers we have here. But of course still have 13 drivers left in the race.
Absolutely, and actually I was watching LK there, I was just riding on board with him, he just got ridiculously close to the back of that Haas car. May have lost a little bit of time in the pit stop window. His teammate Most Ronan is, as I say, nearly 2 seconds ahead of the Toro Rosso of Melanie at the moment in P4. But you're right to say about Pelzari, he does need to find this pace now, because otherwise could come back to haunt him come towards the end part of this Grand Prix. He's definitely not going to be able to stretch those super softs to the end, and if he does, it would be a miracle. But I have seen punctures around this circuit, so it is very likely that something like that will happen. LK, meanwhile, is right on the back of Pietro Matto in the Haas. The Haas versus the Sauber. Who's going to get the better run? Looks like LK is getting a pretty good run out of left field. I don't think he'll be able to go through it into Copse Corner. He'll be too brave to go for it through there. Don't really see it with these wider cars, unfortunately, but he doesn't. Yeah, he's going to have to just try and maximise his run through Maggots and Beckett's and again through Chapel. It's such an endless process, but you know, it's ultimately the best way of making an overtake. Stowe is probably the best place to make an overtake in this on this circuit. If it's not that, it's definitely Brooklands down the Wellington Straight as well. These longer straights at Silverstone really do provide some fantastic racing, as we're seeing now. LK is still P9, doesn't look like he's really closing up to the Haas in P8.
Yeah, LK taking his time to get past Matto, but of course Matto is on those soft tyres, so he may sort of struggle at the end of the race. The sun is now shining here in Silverstone for everybody. But guys, if you do want to see some more racing from SRL, we do have the Tier 2 race tomorrow at 7 PM, as well as the Xbox Asia Pacific race at 8 o'clock and PS4 at 8:30. And then on Sunday we've got the Xbox One America at 8 PM, but that is the different time zone, so I'm not sure what the conversion is, but I think it's quite late. So if anybody's up late at night, I'm sure you can tune in to that stream. So yeah, plenty more action for SRL over the next coming days. But lap 17 of 26, LK still a bit off, but just looking at the gap between first and second, James Height, it was almost a 1.5 seconds, but he's closed it back in again and is draw the pony back into his clutches.
But you're going to say back into his pen then? I was like, yeah, well, he could be. But Pelzari is in P3.
I should have used that.
You should have used that. It was a pun there to be taken. Pelzari, though, is definitely closing in on this pack, and he's just trying to herd in the cattle, as it were, and that's sheep.
Oh dear me.
Should have thought of that. But still, he was about 9/10 of a second behind Height, but this man is flying at the moment, as Pelzari. I say flying, he does kind of need to pick it up a little bit more now, but yeah, maybe that's just the thing. Well, maybe that's the thing. Height is now trying to close up to the race leader, and this guy, Pelzari, just trying to close up as well on this group. He needs to be able to capitalise on any mistakes that the top two make, which could, as I say, prove pivotal in this race.
Yeah, he's going to have to capitalise on those, and I don't know whether his Pelzari, my pronunciation isn't correct, but I'm still surprised he can still go at this pace, still catching the top two with those worn supers.
And he's got off!
Who's
the pony's been there at Chapel? Oh, I don't believe it! He's actually gone off at Chapel. He's lost the back end and he's round. Unbelievable scenes at Silverstone.
No damage on the front wing though.
No.
Seems to be okay.
Pelzeri's in, he's made a pit stop, he's into the pits, it's all happening now on lap 18 of this British Grand Prix. Would you believe that? The race leader has binned it through Chapel Corner, and that has probably lost him the race. Well, no, not maybe, it has lost him this Grand Prix. Unbelievable scenes. And it does mean then the man on the podium is Melanie. Somehow he's on the podium again. Unbelievable.
Crazy scenes. Unfortunately, just caught the end of it as he was spinning into the gravel trap. But yeah, down in 8th place, and he's probably wrecked those medium tyres as well, going off in the gravel. So unfortunately for Booster Pony, yeah, he's lost out on the win here. PT has retired from the session. Unfortunately, so only 13 drivers left here in Silverstone. But Height has an 8.5 second lead over most Ronan, with Melanie in third. Like you said, James, back on the podium somehow. He seems to claw his way in every single race onto that podium. Yeah. But then we've got Ben in 4th, Jackster's 5th, Matto 6th, and LK still on the back of the Haas race, still hasn't managed to get past him.
Absolutely, yeah. He's still not managing to get the move done, is he? Ben JP and Jackster, as you say, they're pretty close to each other, Ferrari and Red Bull. They'll also be looking at that incident and thinking, actually, if anybody else decides to potentially come in, because they could still, or punctures become a prime factor, these guys will be right on hand to pounce. These guys won't, especially Ben JP on those medium tyres. I think there's no doubt now that man will go to the end on these tyres. Absolutely no doubt. I think it's the cars around him that will really, may make a pit stop. I'm not sure, but it's probably quite unlikely that these guys will make a stop. But, as I say, it isn't completely out of the equation just yet. Pelzeri's actually come in. He's P10. He's come out, P10, and he's again on those super soft tyres. He is a long way behind as well. He is, without question, definitely not going to be on the podium this race, unless everybody else down decides to pit. But that would be a pretty unrealistic ambition, it has to be said. The Jacks are looking close on Ben JP in front, but can't make the move stick through Brooklands. I'm not sure LK is going to be able to make it stick on Pichumato, although he does look like he's got a pretty good run as they come into left field corner. Needs to go run on the exit of left field corner, which he will get as well. The Sauber, he's now going to have to maximise his chance through Copse corner. He's going to just have to take as much curb as he can. He can't afford to stay as close as he is to Pichumato. As they come through Copse corner, he stays pretty close with the Haas as well. I didn't think that the front end would turn in enough there for the Sauber driver, and ultimately it has, and he's done a pretty good job to do so. We did miss PT, who has gone out of this British Grand Prix, another British driver, I believe, who is out of this race, which is a bit of a shame, but he is out and gone. LK isn't close enough to make the move on Pichumato this lap. I'm not sure whether he will get this move done on Pichumato this lap, but Jackson looked pretty close to the back of NJP as well. But let us know, with 5 laps to go, 1, who you think will win this race, 2, you think driver of the day of this race should be. A good one.
Yeah, just looking at the chat. We've who's that? Antsman. No, PT said rain absolutely threw me off and quali. So I don't know what that relates into the actual race and why he left, but I'm sure we'll find out in the end. Drawmaster's in the chat as well, so I think he's busy. So hello, Drawmaster. You're missing out on a great race.
I'm sure he'd have made this a far more entertaining run. I'm not saying it's not entertaining, but that man possesses skills on the brakes which I've never really witnessed before. If I'm honest, I do seem to big him up quite a bit, but I think he deserves a lot of the credit he gets, because at the moment he does look pretty good. And I'm glad that he qualified as well, so congratulations on that. Never congratulate, I may have done on Twitter, but congratulations. We're going through. This is where you want to be, though. You want to be in SRL, you want to be Season 6, you want to be round 8, you want to be at the British Grand Prix, and you want to make sure that whoever's going to take this final, well, it looks like P4 at the moment, is going to get this move done into stone. He's not quite close enough, is the Jackster, and yet again, he's looking feisty, this Ferrari. I believe he's American. I don't know whether that's awfully true, but according to his flag on his driver nationality, if you like, he is apparently American. So I want to go as far as saying, I could be wrong, I don't believe there's ever been... oh, no, actually, I think there might have been an American winner. It's whether Phil Hill, I'm pretty sure. Did he ever win the British Grand Prix? I probably did. So, yeah, there you go. Will the Jackster get close enough to NJP on this lap into Brooklands corner? We go again. He looked close, but not close enough. And there's always been a good tussle between a Ferrari and a Red Bull at the Silverstone circuit. LK is also looking racy. He's just about looking like he's going to make a move on Pichumato, who just got himself a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. So I believe that was anyway. As they come through Copse corner again, Pichumato looks a little bit shaky actually coming through Copse, but it's not enough to put him off, and he's still going to stay ahead of the Sauber driver, who's having to back off through Beckett's there because you just can't get close enough with the shocking front wing. It's like turbulence on a plane in these cars. You just can't get close enough to get the move done. It's just shaking all over the place, or it just won't do as you want it to do, and he's getting close again. The Pichumato, will he try and dive down the inside into Vale? Probably too ballsy, and he indeed doesn't go for the move, and he stays P6, Pichumato.
Yeah, Mato unfortunately getting that penalty, so I'm sure LK will know about that from Jeff telling him he does have a 3-second penalty, but I'm sure he'll want to get the move on track done as well, rather than just getting it after the race. But Height, 6-second lead of almost Ronan and Manley in third. Those guys are pretty safe actually. Those gaps aren't really changing. Ben again still under pressure from the Jacksters as they come towards Brooklands. No one again making any move. They're all very close, James, but no, just that tad bit too far away to make any move. Like I said, I think the turbulence from the dirty air is really affecting the Jacksters and Elkid, try and get past their respective drivers are in front of them. But potentially they could close in and make it a four-way fight for P4, but we'll have to wait and see. 3 laps left here in Silverstone.
My goodness, I just saw LK there. That's so wide through Copse corner, but yeah, if you were going to just let us know who you think driver of the day should be. I don't really know at the moment. I don't really know who should be driver of the day, who I think should be driver of the day. To be honest, if I'm going to go for anybody, I would probably put more... I mean, Ben JP has looked pretty good this race, to be fair, which is, you know, kind of shocked me. I'm not saying he's a bad driver by any means. None of these guys are. They're all really good drivers. But I didn't expect him to be as high as he is in P4. Maybe it's just a good circuit for him. Also, again, Melanie can't ever discrew. He's always seemingly there or thereabouts. I do like the look of Height today as well, though. Just somehow he's just managed to pick it apart, and he may have won the race despite the incident. So who knows? But he may even win this race today as well. The race isn't over yet, though, so can't really put pen on paper. 2 laps to go. We've seen what the race leader can do at Chapel, so we're going to have to wait and see again, I suppose. But it is looking good towards the end of this British Grand Prix.
Yeah, just Drawmaster in the chat. He just told me Matto in Italian means insane. So I think
wow.
his name literally translates to insane Pietro. So it's a great game attack. I rate that. Thank you, Drawmaster, for the translation. Yeah, and Drawmaster's not racing because he's in Denmark. That's why he's currently away.
Go and meet Mundo. He's there. Oh, I'm joking. Anyway. But yeah, it's all... yeah.
God.
Pretty dead.
Yeah, it's race still going. Still, of course, 2 laps remaining. Height does have a penalty, but he has got 5.5 seconds over Ronan in second. But it looks like Jackson is even closer than before, and they are closing up the 4th to 7th places at the moment on track. 2 laps remaining. Can they pass each other? That is a question. Will they stay in the current 4 positions? We'll have to keep an eye on it. Of course, lap and a half remaining here. But further down the grid, Busaponi, the man who was winning, is down in 8th. Paziri is down in 9th, and Hayden runs off the top 10. But Jackson does look closer than he ever has. Can he make a move going towards Brooklyn City. Oh, he's very close, but still no move again. And these 4 races are right together now, James, and a lap with a potential lap with them all nose to tail.
Absolutely. Get ready for fireworks, ladies and gents. Or it does seem quite a lot of gents, but we can't assume genders in this day and age, so we won't. It is pretty close between 4th and 7th place. It may go down quite well. Let's hope it does, because these guys hopefully will give us a good bit of action. Now the Ferrari is behind the Red Bull as they come through Chapel and onto the Hangar Straight towards Stowe Corner, where of course Mansell and Senna have had their time. And will these two get there as well? Up the inside goes to Ferrari. He looks for the move, but he wasn't close enough there. He actually popped one up the inside, just like, yeah, I'm there. Just got to watch out for me on this last lap. He wasn't close enough to get the move done though. Prix has actually gone tremendously deep into Vale Corner, and that may cost him his 4th place chances of this race. And I know that sounds like a tall order, but that's just how much it may have cost him. LK is looking racy up behind as well. Too many fights going on. Will LK make a move up the inside into Village? Not gonna try. He was close, but not close enough. Will he try it through the loop? He's close enough, but will not go for the move. So it's a case of, can the Jackster then get Ben JP? Can he get a good run? He doesn't even need to get him into Brooklands. He just needs to make sure he can maximise his run through Brooklands in order for him to get a good run off Luffield and ultimately maximise his chances through Copse Corner, down the segment of corners at the Maggots and Beckett's, and through Chapel as well. And his chance at Stowe Corner may not to be far away. Let's see if he can do just that. The Ferrari's got one last shot at this. P4 in this Grand Prix. Will he get it? He's closing, and not enough at this moment. Look how close he's getting to the back of that Red Bull. As they come through Maggots and Beckett's, he's giving it a good go. Can he get him towards Stowe Corner? He just seems to have run a bit too much on the curb as he went over Beckett's corner. And I'm not sure whether that's going to actually, that may have hindered his chances at P4 in this Grand Prix. Does look like nothing is going to come of it now. Height has won the British Grand Prix at Silverstone. Most Ronan will join him on the podium along with Melanie, who does a stellar job. But Ben JP looks like he'll hold on. I'm not sure about LK and Prix who are getting awfully close on the line. It was insanely close, but in the favour of Prix in P7 and LK in P6. Okay, so Prix obviously penalty drops into P7. Boost the pony. P8, Pelzari, P9, who's starting on pole. Poor effort. And Hayden smashes his way to P10. Pretty close ending there, though.
Yeah, it was a great ending. Unfortunately, the positions didn't change, and very close at the end. But yeah, a great race here at Silverstone. If you've got any questions for the drivers for the chat, let us know in the Twitch chat. And people ask questions now. Tom is away, I don't know why, and Height did have a 5-second gap draw master, so yeah, great from Height. Definitely helped. There was a spin from Booster Pony earlier on, but a double podium for Toro Rosso here, and we'll finally go through the driver standards. So Height wins it. With most Ronan in second, Melanie third, Ben JP in fourth, Jackster's fifth, LK in sixth, Matto seventh, Booster Pony eighth, Pilzeri in 9th, Hayden 10th, Julian 11th with 19 seconds worth of penalties, and then Valtteri Bottas in 12th. I'm not sure who everybody was, but yeah, a lot of penalties here, James, and we'll get the guys in for the interviews, and yeah, like I said, make sure you give us some questions for the drivers. Just waiting on the final person who has Ronan, and we can get going with these interviews. Oh, they're all here already. So, Kai, if you can make sure you include your audio, and I'll hand it over to James to start the driver interviews.
Yep, this is brilliant, isn't it? British Grand Prix win for Height. Didn't look like it was going to go. Well, first of all, congratulations, of course, but didn't look like that it at some point in that race was going to go your way. That pesky Force India, who was, with his questionable name, was really just, he was telling you to basically hurry up, because he was all over you for a lot in duration of that race. And when he made the mistake, did you feel like that mistake was coming, or were you not really expecting it?
Well, firstly, thank you. And yeah, it was. Yeah, he was just faster than me. After I got that start, I just sort of thought, okay, I can just pull out the gap now. I didn't expect to catch up. As cocky as that sounds, I've raced him before, and I just wasn't expecting it, and it took me by surprise. And then he just kept catching and catching and catching. But then when he got through, I started to notice through Maggots and Beckett's, he was hitting the grass on the outside a lot. I think he did it like 3 laps in a row, and I was like, okay, I can get a good run on him. And then yeah, I didn't expect him to crash. I just expected it like to be able to catch back up. And he had a penalty anyway, so I was just going to try and sit in 3 seconds of him, which I was doing. So I'm not sure. Yeah, it would have been interesting to see how that turned out. But obviously, the easy way is sometimes the nicer way. Yeah, it was crazy. But yeah, I didn't expect him to spin. I didn't see it coming.
Absolutely. Other than that, of course, is it your first win of the season or second? Second, I
First.
think. First, is it?
Yeah,
Wow.
I've had the worst luck this season.
Yeah. Well, okay. Brings me nicely onto my second question. Does this change your fortunes? Does it mean now that, if you can just get that little bit of luck together, do you feel like this is a position where you can become accustomed to, which is towards the front and hopefully fighting for more race wins?
I don't know, because like there's so many season and there's like 3 or 4 races I probably should have won or had a really big chance of winning, and I feel like it probably won't change. I feel like there's a curse on me or something, and it's trying to give me hope so that way it can just bash me back down in Hungary. But I'd hope my fortunes change so I can start helping Mel win the constructors. But I don't think they will. If I'm honest, I've got a curse on me.
Oh, I'm ashamed to hear that. But we'll move. So, congratulations once again. We'll move on to second place, most Ronan. I can't remember. I don't actually know where you finished last time out, my friend. So I do apologise. And buongiorno. Also,
Hi.
what was the sorry? What was the what's the race like for you? Because of course, a long part of that race, you look like you're only going to get P4. It looked like you're only going to finish 4th in that race for so long. So was it just again? It must have been. You must have been so happy when you just saw these 2 names drop off the top of the leaderboard when you saw the race leader, of course, crash out, and then you, of course, saw Pelzeri come to the pits for a new set of tyres. You must have felt really lucky this race at some point.
Yes, it's true. Because first part of the race into the wet it was a disaster because I didn't try in wet condition, and the other driver was more fast than me, and after the pit stop. With the soft tires, I'm yes, I'm feeling good with with soft tire, excuse me, and I think only in my run, on my lap, and the didn't do a mistake, no? You understand? Yes.
Yep.
And the second place is great for me, for the leaderboard, for the class, for the league. Yes.
Well, congratulations on P2.
And congratulations of a height.
Oh, thank you, man. Congratulations. You drove really well.
Thank you.
I think of the word now. Damn, I had it last week, or a couple of weeks ago when you finished on the podium. But congratulations on second place. It's a really good effort. And we'll move on to P3 Melanie, who
Yeah.
I don't know whether you gained the most out of that race of anybody today, to be honest. It seems, again, for you, like it was maybe down and out. Really, you were P5 for a bit of that race. You were P6 for one part of that race as well. I just thought, oh no, it's not going to happen again, is it? Not going to bottle a champ now. But P3 for you today. I mean, again, this is going to give you a little bit more boost because, of course, Tom wasn't here this week, so I'm pretty sure that extends your lead in the championship. So, what can you tell us? What was that race like for you today? Was it a bit stressy? Did you really always feel like you had pace for a podium, or were you kind of you felt really lucky to get on the podium today?
Well, yeah, I didn't have the pace in the wet, knew that coming into the race, so I just had to survive the first bit. Inmost running like struggling a bit on the couple first laps. Couldn't quite make the move stick, and then he just kind of got his footing in and kind of just started to pull away. And in the pit stop, I just got blocked by the Haas double stacking. So that was nice. Then I just couldn't catch him, and he just pulled away. Solid pace from him. Also, congrats to Height, first win, 4th different winner this season. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, good. So probably again, second sort of question, if you like. I suppose Tom hasn't really, hasn't had the. I don't really know how to word it, but I always ask you this question, and I'll probably continue to ask you it. Is this now your year? Is this the season? Is this it? Are we going to see it? Are we going to see Melanie winning a championship in SRL? Are we going to see it now?
Sure.
Yeah, brilliant.
Go
Love
for
the
it.
confidence.
It's not
Get
like we
in
have
there.
real shots here. It was just an alien, so
No. Yeah, that was a bit of a.
let's not mention him anymore.
But
But yeah,
we won't
I think
mention it.
I think
We
I
don't
can
know what
fight some.
happened.
So
Yeah. Okay, that's good
Yeah.
to hear. That's good to
40
hear.
points now in the gap. So
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Game on.
And the
not
constructors
lay
lead
back
as well.
too much. Oh yeah.
Or also take
Yeah,
this.
big
yeah.
up the constructors championship.
Yeah,
I'm
boy.
sure to be big it up next race because I'll be honest, if you watch the stream back, I say little about constructors other than
Okay.
so. Yeah, Ollie, if you've got any more questions for these guys?
The only thing I've got from Melanie, it's from Drawmaster, and he says, hopefully I pronounce this right, it says Haka Pala. That means anything to
Okay.
you. I've got
Like go get
no
them.
idea what
What's
that means.
Has he been
Fast
watching the
translation.
stream? He's going, oh, you know what? It's such a boring race. I'm going on Google Translate and just see what everything. What does that mean?
No, that's his speciality.
Yeah,
He knows that Finnish language.
Oh,
let's see.
well, that's
Hard
not
it
English.
is.
But yeah, no,
Oh,
that's
Oh, really?
it, really.
oh dear. Anyway, we'll move swiftly on. If you want to continue to see Melanie, just well, hopefully for his sake, bossing it. Toro also looked pretty good in the constructors' title race at the moment as well. If you want to see or hear more translations from a Swede, then be sure to join us for
Finnish.
Hungary, where I'm sure
Yeah.
you will see
Nice.
something completely
Definitely
different.
Swedish.
I'll do the whole race
Yeah.
in German.
Triggered.
Yep, definitely Swedish, definitely not Finnish.
No,
I think it
but
was Danish.
Jorma translating from Swedish, yeah?
Oh, right. Okay.
No, or he was a Swede translating.
Oh, well. Good recovery.
Yeah,
Bollocks,
nice
right.
recovery
Should we
there.
start that again? Right, well, see you in Hungary. It's going to be good. And same time, same place. Make sure you've got your hydrates. Right, see you then.